Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor Odle from the University of Pennsylvania, and I was pleased to partner with Ascendium. Ellen, if you could go to the next slide, please. I was pleased to partner with Ascendium as a 2020 summer fellow to broadly examine strategies to support adult learners and some college no degree students as they make their way to and through post-secondary education. And this research kind of broadly encompassed 5 questions. As Matt said, looks kind of different from a literature review, but those questions were kind of what currently exists to support these populations, how do these programs or do these programs work, what do we know or not know about them, where are they located, and who may be physically missing access to these resources, and kind of what's next to set an agenda going forward. And so today, I want to share some of our key lessons that we learned from practice and from research. Next slide, please. So some quick lessons from practice. We completed a typology of 98 programs that showed us that kind of just providing information or financial aid are necessary, but are insufficient alone to propel adult learners and some college no degree students to and through a post-secondary credential. And the best outcomes from these types of programs are seen when they are paired with an academic support or intervention like advising. We also found that institutional engagement is critical for the success of these policies and programs. Institutions of higher education are not only well suited to deliver kind of contextually relevant information and resources as institutions or as students' home institution, but are also well anchored within students' kind of local environments to provide some like contextual relevance there as well. We also saw that comprehensive strategies, so those that pair multiple kind of treatments, if you will, advising, nudging, financial aid and things, they commonly also employed equity-minded approaches. So kind of a special focus on low-income students, formerly incarcerated students, rural populations, or people of color. And they also involved system-based approaches. So kind of a structural redesign or rethinking of this kind of college-going process. We also saw that these we created a map of all of these programs. We saw many areas, especially rural areas, lacked programs and services, but even states that do have programs, they may be statewide or they don't necessarily have institutional anchors or local anchors to provide these supports. There's also a large notable gap on the efficacy of these programs and it's specifically on the adult learner population, especially in the impact study literature. There's a lot of reasons for this, such as kind of data accessibility, kind of student self-selection into these programs, the recency of many programs, and kind of their generalizability, given how tailored some of them may be. But we do have good research on some common strategies that are employed, such as the use of financial aid or coaching, information and outreach, that can provide good guidance on what strategies may be effective for specific populations. But we do know that adults respond most effectively to comprehensive or paired strategies, given the additional and multiple barriers that they do face. And there is extensive opportunity for additional research in this area. The brief and materials that we created highlight a lot of these opportunities and kind of underscore a true need for kind of rigorous impact evaluations in this area. Next slide, please. So just end on some of these key takeaways that we all know, but are worth stating again. Actionable and accessible research is critical. As kind of policy researchers, we only feel comfortable, when we can achieve some specific level of nuance. But policymakers and grant makers are really looking for usable information now, and they're not necessarily going to wait for some of that evidence to be created. And so it's our job to kind of pair this, bring rigor and relevance to the table and help disseminate that in an accessible way. And the last, as Bethany said, these research practice partnerships are a win-win for everyone and are a tried and true way to make sure that we are doing that pairing of rigorous research with actionable evidence. And just underscore again, thanks to everyone, especially my partners at Ascendium, Lindsay Page and Brooks Bowden.